Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at new Super Mario Bros. Wii, which if you've never played it before, it's basically a platformer and it's an absolutely fantastic one. At the start you simply choose a file. I will only be showing footage from World 1 as to avoid spoilers, so that's why these files are set up like this. There's also a free mode where you can just basically replay any of the levels that you want to with mates and that, but you can do that in the adventure mode anyway, so I honestly don't see the point of it being there. There's then Coin Battle, which is the first one I'm going to show off. Coin Battle is up to 4 people. The whole point is you battle for coins. Whoever gets the most coins wins. You get some stages at the start to play with, which are on worlds that you haven't even got unlocked at that point as well. So you'll start with these ones here from like World 5 and World 8 and that, so it's a pretty cool little thing. There's then also worlds that you've unlocked and levels that you've unlocked from the worlds and that, and you can do a favourite playlist and stuff like that. So I'll just start off a Coin Battle anyway. It's one of those things, it's good fun to play. It's possibly the best multiplayer mode on the game, because I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion and I will explain why, but I absolutely hate the co-op on this game. But so basically, going back to the coin battle, as I say, the whole point is collect the most coins and that. If you manage to kill your mate and stuff like that, or die yourself, then they can come back, because basically a bubble will appear and you have to pop the bubble to bring the other players back. So it's one of those things though that you're going to want to try and avoid really bringing them back, if the whole point is you're trying to win, aren't you? So it's just one of those that I don't understand why it's there. And if you all manage to die at the same time like this, then the game automatically ends. So this is the world map, and I've went on here to show a couple of differences. The first big one that you might notice, to be fair you might not, because you might be thinking I might have just unlocked them all. If you've only played New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, there were locked levels, and the locked levels, you spent your coins to unlock the levels, and when you're done so, it basically allowed you to save. It's something I absolutely hated about the last one, because it just made the game stupidly easy, because it gave you an abundant amount of save points when there was no need for them. The whole point of Mario is it's supposed to be hard. I'm glad this one has reverted back to the save after castles only. Instead, you spend your coins on these, which I'll admit to hating. They're basically the super skill movies. And one of the reasons I just don't see the point of them is just totally ignoring the fact that they make the game easier for people who've never played it before. The whole point, the whole way to get these is to get gold coins. Gold coins, by nature, are apparently hard to get. So in other words, in order to make the game easier for yourself, you've already got to be really good at it to get all the gold coins. That doesn't make a lick of sense to me. So, leaving them alone for a second, as I say, I personally hate them. There's also the Super Guide, which I hate the Super Guide as well. The whole point of the Super Guide is you die 8 times on a level. It allows you to have a computer beat the level for you. I just, again, don't see the point of it. So anyway, on to some actual footage and on to praising the game, because it truly is brilliant. It just has its few flaws, unfortunately. So, first thing you might notice is one of the new powers. There are some new powers. I'll do my best to show as many off as I can. This one, I'll again might as well start by saying I don't particularly like it, because again it makes the game a little easy, because the whole point is you can fly like this in an infinite amount of times. You can just jump up and fly, so it allows you to skip past most of the level if you want to, and it also allows you to get the gold coins incredibly easy. I mean, this one here, the whole point is to use that to get it, but there's some on other levels where all you really need to do is take one of these mushrooms in and you'll be able to get the hard gold coins. So again, don't really see the point of them, or the ice flowers either, because they allow you to kill enemies you've never been able to kill before in Mario games. But at the same time, I'm glad they're there, because they are interesting and they're different to the usual stuff that you get, really. It'd be a little boring if you just got the same old all the time. So that's why it's one of those things that I'm glad the gameplay's changed a slight bit, because there's odd little differences to it. First up, you've now got Yoshi, which you've never had in a Mario Bros game before. You've only had them in the Mario worlds, and the Yoshis are brilliant. They're pretty much just like as you'd expect them to be. But there's also a few other things which I'll have to show off. So, one of the things I need to show off is solely, well, it's basically came about solely because of the ice packs here. So, you freeze an enemy, you can then pick up the enemy and then chuck it. You can do this with the other characters, like when you've got Luigi and that, you can pick the other characters up, and you can do this with power blocks and that. And that's a nice little feature, albeit it does kind of make things a little easier though when you can throw other things than shells. This difference that you won't notice until I put the Wiimote here, it's basically a tilting thing, and whatever way you tilt the Wiimote tilts the platform. So you've got to have control of that while you're while you're paying attention to everything else. If you're using a nunchuck, you tilt it differently, you use it like that. and it's one of those that all the motion controls on the game unfortunately feel a bit tacked on, as if they're just simply there to appease people, well, casual gamers basically, who've only played Galaxy and now expect this sort of thing, basically expect games to play like this. Because it's the type of thing that it could have just been done with a button. For example, shaking the Wiimote actually does what a button job would do if you were on the SNES. That is the exact same that I think the R button would do on the SNES on Mario World. So it's just the type of thing that while they work well, they feel a bit tacked on, which is a shame. Well, I'm going to shut up for a little bit of music soon and also show off the Yoshis, but before I do that, while I'm on the co-op, I will mention why I don't like the co-op. I don't think it works because the camera doesn't particularly work, and because the gameplay just doesn't work. You're too busy trying to play a Mario game properly the way that you would play it, which, let's face it, is running left to right as reckless as possible, jumping all over the place using your powers, that if you're playing with someone less experienced, and apparently this was made to help less experienced players, I don't see how that's happening. If you're playing with someone less experienced, they're going to lag behind and die. Not only that, when you pick up players, you can't put them down, you just throw them like that, and it's a type of thing that you will more often than not, at least I know that's the case for myself, throw them down a hole or in lava or something like that. It's the type of thing that just totally drives you crazy. I really hate it, and I never want to ever play it again after this video, in all honesty. But the single player of the game is still absolutely fantastic. It works amazingly well, and it's one of the best, if not the best, Mario games to come out in a long time. I definitely think it's better than Galaxy. So here's some music, and then I'll cut into a boss because I haven't shown one of those off yet. To be fair, I know I said I'd go for a boss, but seeing as I was up to one, I thought I'd show off the Goomba level first. The Goomba levels are like the Hammer Bros levels. You walk into them and this happens. You have to rescue the Toads and kill the Goombas, and that, to be fair, you just have to rescue the Toads. You don't even have to kill all the Goombas, and then that's it, you rescue a Toad. There's another form of rescuing the Toad, which basically, he'll get lost on a level, you'll have to headbutt the blocks to find him, and once you get him, you have to carry him to the end. He'll go through pipes and stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. It's the type of thing, it's an okay style of gameplay, I don't mind it much, but Toad is constantly trying to run away despite the fact that he's with the famous Mario, and it's the type of thing that you'd think, well, he's with the famous Mario, he surely must realise this, he knows he's in safe hands, so why is he trying to run away? And it's just odd little things like that which make it a little annoying rather than enjoyable. So anyway, boss next. So this is basically the first world boss. It's just doing a little animation to show how it's going to change the level on that. There's 8 worlds overall, and to be fair, other than that, there's not really much to mention. I suppose one thing to see is something that I myself was quite happy with. The ground pound doesn't count as 2 hits on the bosses anymore, so that, on the last one, that used to count as 2 hits, so you only had to actually jump on the boss twice in order to kill him. Thankfully, it doesn't. And I'll try and prove it, because you've seen us jump on him once, so if I do a ground pound, that would have been him dead. So there we go, that's me proof. And the other things is, just when you're on multiplayer and that, going down pipes, it is a good idea to all try and go down at the same time, but it's not needed. It will eventually warp you all together, but it's one of those, if someone's lagging behind and in trouble, it's best to really head for the pipe rather than just wait for the screen to warp or something. And then pretty much the final things I can mention is that there's these little mini game type things like usual in the Toad houses to allow you to try and get power-ups, because you can save the power-ups and use them on the world menu like you could on other Mario Bros games and stuff like that. And there's also secret levels still, like secret areas to still access, so there definitely is plenty to do. And as I say, it's possibly the best Mario game to come out in a long time, so if you like Mario, definitely get it. Just don't hold your hopes up for the co-op, because I think it's going to be a very hit and miss thing. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.